I answered that already. I answered that already. Jammehs is not the only one. Jammehs is not the only citizen.
I agree with that one. Jammehs is not the only one who is qualified in APRC.
Yeah, and I said yes, that's true.
I agree.
I said that's true.
Why always Jammehs?
Yeah,
APRC currently cannot run a political. APRC currently cannot run an elections because APRC is divided into 3 or 4. Recently, we had Jammehs saying
so you're bringing a different
the party now belongs to him.
I think I'm saying this is personal, like about the party, not about the constitution or whatsoever.
Exactly, Ibex.
No,
exactly. So I can't help this fellow because he's not listening to what the law says. He's talking about his own feelings. Fine, you can air your own feelings, but I'm telling you, under the Constitution of the Gambia, and the Supreme Court also ruled in favor of Jammeh and BB Dabo and other Gambians living abroad. So now, if you are not be sentimental about it, you have
85 people over 86 people. Ben and Yari need to tap in. Please tap in and share the live, please.
So if you want to be sentimental, that's fine. You can speak up.
I'm not being sentimental. But what I'm saying is that, you know, you've made mention about democracy. And I expect, because democracy meaning is a system of government in which citizens share their supreme powers, either directly, indirectly, or through their representatives elected by them. And the party, there are a lot of competent people within the party and in the Gambia here. You understand? I'm not saying we should forget about Jammeh, but we also should put in mind that Jammeh have been accused on so many things.
Okay, forget about
and the only thing that we're going to do is that we work on our
you're
ground.
mixing too many things. Amsin, let me ask you one simple question. If Jammeh comes back to APRC now, and 70% of APRC members vote for him to become the party leader, flag bearer, and chairman, will you agree that that's democracy?
Yeah, that's democracy because the majority always carries the vote. But currently, there is no democracy within the party because the party is divided into 4.
Exactly. But then, if Gambian APRC members or Gambian people vote for him and he goes to State House, or APRC vote for him and he becomes the party leader, whether there are 1,000 other people competent in APRC, that's not relevant. It's the vote of the majority that matters in a democracy. So if people vote for Jammeh and say, we want Jammeh forever,
he will have that majority. He will not have that majority now because the party
maybe that's true. I don't know that. That's your own view. What I'm telling you, I'm saying, and I'm gonna move on from this point because we're going around that gyratory. What I'm telling you now, under the current constitution of the Gambia and the current constitution of APRC, nothing is barring President Jammeh from running. And take that from me 100%, and that's true. Okay?
Yeah.
So anybody else wants to add something?
My question is, Lamin, my question is, who is the co-founder of the APRC? Who is the co-founder of the APRC?
President Jammeh was the founder and leader of APRC. And right now,
one of the founders of the party.
I'm saying the guy is asking question. Let me answer him. Jammeh is the founder of the APRC. All right? And he has been the leader of APRC since its inception. And that's the truth. I don't think that's in dispute at all. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, I think that it makes sense to everybody now.
Can I come in now?
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to ask you a question, please.
Balalen, Seku, whether you allow Abubakar to ask question or do you want to comment?
Yeah, let him ask.
Okay, Abubakar demal den ñu may Seku because Ibex tam yàgg na fi am na ñoo xam ne yeah.
Thank you very much. Mr. Tamba, how are you? Mr. Tamba.
Fabulous, brother. I'm fabulous. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you. Lumala temoy man APRC la comme yow.
Wow.
Waaye dama ñaan pour ñun APRC duñ tra ñëw together problème bi yëpp bu xew ñun la APRC. Yaa Jammeh waxam bi yëpp ñun la APRC. Nañ ñëw together. What's the problem? For APRC ko lu brother bi wax, it's a disgrace. You split to 4. Ba pare mu am di fit bu wax loolu noonu fii ñu split to 4. APRC, it's a disgrace, man. Lan mooy the problem? Ñu ñëwuñ together lan la? Ñëwuñ together. What's the problem? Nañu wax problem APRC. Lan moo tax ñëwuñ together? Loolu APRC war a focus on. Yaa Jammeh dafa tontu de ñu wax ne ñu ñëw ñu tëj ko ñu nga tontu de. ñaata ñu ngi yónnee audio dañ ko yóbbu court hybrid court dañ ko yóbbu court ñaata ñu ngi ko wax moom ñu la tontu ñun APRC nekk as a party ñu ñëwaat sa ñëw together comme démb wa am nga luy problème bi sax ma xamul problème bi de APRC la wax xam nga fa laa tollu man
No problem.
nañ nekk benn please ñu move on
Yeah.
man yaa Jammeh la 100% ñu ne ndax moo gën a compétent seeing is believing dafa def ma gis understand ñuy coow nii yëpp yaa jaay moo leen mun ñu naan fekk man 68 bon la ñu naan tobee comme entrance ñuy coow yëpp comme entrance ñaata la gaa am comme entrance ñuy coow yëpp laa wax ñaata gaa am comme entrance yaa Jammeh du seen morom de yaa Jammeh genius kum neex kum naxari bro yàlla moo dee mais
APRC
68 bon la ama bay nu ko bay tribe man duma joolaa de mais mo day sa joolaa but ama bay nu ko bay tribe
yes my beautiful
man duma joolaa de ama bay nu ko bay tribe don't see that Jammeh you are the by nunk you know the government history you know the by nunk
very well.
That's right so yaa Jammeh is very very competent ñu coow ni yaa Jammeh du seen morom ay wallahi bro du seen morom he's very very competent as at now yaa Jammeh mu na ñëw mu rule ne ko ne ma jëde ñu ne waaye fi loo dama bëgg ñu ne waaye fi loo nañ ñëw naka fi yaa Jammeh génnee lu loi bi wax moo gën a fii lan la équation moo gën a fii nañ wax loi yooyu noonu ne amul dañ ko accuse indi sool ñëpp lañ accuse indi sool ñëpp lañ accuse am ko fa nekk indi sool accuse suñu la ñëpp lañ accuse
Mane gis nañ fi la kañ defoon Donald Trump
thank you very much dégg nga ma ngi dem down dégg nga thank you very much jërëjëf pour même chance ma wax jërëjëf
amul problème suma brother ñu ngi defar si ron
welcome Abubakar thank you
ñu ngi defar si ron dafa am yeneen conversations yi nekk di happen on the ground so duma ko mun a waxtaane si plateforme bi waaye am na APRC members ñoo xam ne ñu ngi dox yëfi unity of the party on the ground unfortunately man
but Lamin Lamin do anyone in the executive boo xam ne because obviously demand executive executive boo xam ne currently Yaya Jammeh boobu la recognize do challenge him because man foog naa ne it sound more of like a yes sir rather than telling him listen there's a brighter side if you let us manage the party within us because mun nañ ko we are able to handle you can overshadow so give us your ideas you have experience but
Buffalo, why are you taking my time now Buffalo
sorry say
Obama answer ko quickly Buffalo
is this now agenda driven of APRC this platform
anyway Buffalo the thing is Yaya Jammeh daf dee déglu executive members so in terms of which executive la moo déglu the executive of Buya Tambadan lead executive boobu la sampa so that's the only executive as far as President Jammeh is concerned President Jammeh listens daf dee déglu bu baax a baax we have meetings with him now and again online meetings with him now and again daf dee déglu we'll write something down proposals on different things ñu yónnee ko he reviews them sends them back with his recommendations then we change it then we go to another point then we change it then increase add edit suggest so daf dee déglu bu baax a baax is not always a yes certainly when it comes to me because xam nga ma man naka laa mel I don't follow blindly I don't if somebody's come out to deceive the public I'll go against the grain so the former executive buñ jéenoon to deceive the public knowing fully well lu ñoo what the public wasn't right I stood up against them President Jammeh su ñëwee outside to deceive people knowing what he's saying is not right I will stand up against him yaa maa dégga that's how I've been since I was a little kid I've been called hothead I've been called stubborn waaye man suma hothead yaa ak stubbornness it's not because mango nit la sàcca wala her la jël sànni ko nit no I refuse wrongdoing when I say it if it's individual level and it doesn't bother me much I'll ignore it waaye soo nekkee in a position of authority a position of power yaa ngi use loolu pour deceive nit yi I will stand up against it that's how I've been since I was little noonu laa mel ba tey and hopefully yàlla suma may doole ak fan bu gudda I'll continue to be like that person objective all the time if it doesn't affect anyone else it's individual relationship man ak nit yi a lot of people have done me wrong I don't mind dama ko dee ignore waaye soo nekkee in a public position dangaa bàyyi sa xel nga make sure li nga wax nit yi is accurate.
Mr. Tamba.
And most of the time, that's what I stand
Mr.
up for.
Tamba.
So President Jammeh listens. We give him stuff.
I'm saying balal you, please. We need to let other speakers well, please. Balal you, right?
He listens. But at the moment, because Jane and I Tamba, Jane out executive be up, the interim party leader, yeah? Jane out executive be up. Just one person, the interim party leader, because interim party leader, Sebopam, is not an existing position inside the APRC constitution. The party before now. Wamune, Jelna position am now fully. He will be in touch with the executive. He will administer the executive. He will administer every function of the party. So we wait for his next card Bumo play. Wa Manluma Bugamoy, Man Ibex and other APRC members, Sumademe Gambia on the ground. If they're willing to APRC Neka Bena, it will happen because I can engineer it. I can pioneer it. But we cannot be the one APRC fake and the other side of APRC inside NPP.
I'm saying you
yeah, so yeah, we have to get out of the NPP coalition. We can't be an opposition party.
I know.
We can't be an opposition party. Yeah, we can't be an opposition party.
You're coming on live. What are you saying?
Okay, Ibex, I'm now do APRC, but I'll bring you into the APRC. But we can't be opposition party, but at the same time, Nyungi NPP, Lolo to them. So any APRC ko hamne mungsi NPP alliance, be ready to come out of the alliance. We unite under President Jammeh who push forward.
You are dreaming that they get in cars and brown envelope. You want them just to come and listen to Adam Yaya Jammeh from Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah, I know those people will not come out. That's 100%. But the members are more powerful. We can say to them, you continue your position as speaker. You continue your position as ambassador in South Africa or protocol officer in South African embassy. While you, the members of APRC, we want APRC to return as a full opposition party because we want to run for State House. Members suñ pare pour lolu happen, defa happen. These people don't own the party. Come Amsen Lomoa, party be ken momuko. But at the end of the day, we recognize that the legal founder of the party is President Jammeh. The legal party leader and chairman is President Jammeh. So now, Bala you select another leader. If we're going to select another leader, we have to go with President Jammeh for now. Let's put sentiment aside, or our personal opinion is important, but when it comes to the law is not personal opinion like Adama Barrow says.
If Jammeh comes in power, it's very clear that Donald Trump definitely pardon himself. So Teku, you come on.
No, okay, Jammeh cannot pardon himself because he's not convicted yet. But say who come in and wait.
Yeah, thank you guys. I've been listening.
They've got predict. American law will know in it. They've got predict.
Well, America do democracy. We know that.
Guys, I've been listening. Good morning to, good afternoon right now in the UK. Good afternoon to everybody. I enjoyed the debate, but for me, I don't want to comment on APRC leadership. Like I said yesterday during my interview, I'm not a member of APRC. I think it is the decision of the APR members who becomes their leader. So that's why even before the change, in the time of the struggle, nobody has ever heard me questioning why Jammeh is still there, because I have to be a member of APRC to have that. Then I will be able to speak, because in a democracy, like Lamin Tamba rightly said, this decision is for APRC members. Let's leave it to them. If they feel that Jammeh alone should not be the leader, then they will have to effect the change. One man, I'm a UDP member. I don't think I have no moral authority to question APRC leadership. That's my feeling, and that's why I never discuss this. It's not my. I don't discuss the leadership of other parties. I'm concerned about the leadership of my party, the party that I belong to, rather. But on the issue of Jammeh, I had the debate between Cisse and Tamba, and this is where I want to come in. To be honest, I think I'm one of the biggest critics of Adama Barrow, and I was one of the biggest critics of Jammeh as well. But to be honest, we cannot compare the brutality on the Jammeh and Adama Barrow, Lamin Tamba, with everything. Let's be honest here, okay? Yes, things happen. The Faraba incident happened. Yes, we have to put that on Barrow. You're right. Whatever happened on the Jammeh that we blame him for, if we are going to be fair and honest, then we should equally put the blame on Barrow. You are spot on that. But the magnitude in terms of loss of human lives that happened on the 22-year tyrannical rule of Yahya Jammeh, nobody can compare that to Barrow. Like, I give myself as an example. You hear I go to Bantaba and I say all sort of stuff against Adama Barrow. I recently went to Gambia. No one arrested me. I was there and I said in one of the UDP meetings in Brikama, I said, because there's a question that was asked to me. I was one of the speakers there. And they asked me, as somebody from the diaspora, what comparison can I do between Jammeh regime and Barrow? I said, you know what? When I do my politics, I like to be honest and as much as I can. Maybe some people may think I'm not being honest, but I try to be honest. You cannot compare, right? If it was Jammeh days, I dare not to step my foot at Banjul International Airport. I would be arrested. And you know, in the struggle, Lamin Tamba, most people here, the likes of Code Pastor Majao, the Banka Maris of this world, never dared to go to Gambia for many years until Jammeh was removed. But right now, under Barrow, I know here and there are political arrests, and particularly us UDP, most of the arrests are our members. Arrested for political reasons, and some of the activists like Madi Jabati, yes, arrests have been done. But I haven't seen anybody yet who landed at the Banjul International Airport and your name is on the list. They said you are wanted, which used to come under Yahya Jammeh. Yahya Jammeh did not even have mercy for the dead. We know the late Boubacar Balde, who was a minister under Yahya Jammeh and then later struck him. When he passed away, Jammeh said his body will not be flown to the Gambia, Lamin Tamba. These are historical records. That is the heightened level of lack of remorsefulness for somebody, because when somebody passed away, then we all know that all living people, all our living people, one day we will all answer to the call of Almighty Allah. So this has happened. So for somebody to come to the platform to have an idea of comparison in terms of the way Barrow, and I'm not saying Barrow, I'm not going to give credit to Barrow. I say that the credit goes to the Gambian people because we ushered in a democracy. Where I agreed with you, Lamin Tamba, is that because we effected the change, because we called Jammeh a dictator, we called it that people died under his watch, even though I hear APRC people going to radio saying laughable comments like, have you ever seen Jammeh kill anybody? That's a laughable stuff, because no leader kills anybody. No leader carries out executions. You give order. No president, you have never seen any president with a pistol killing somebody. But you see APRC people go, that is laughable. That doesn't make an iota of sense. These things happen under Jammeh. He needs to answer it. Where I agree with you, if we said we effected this change, then we should not be repeating the same things that happened under Jammeh. That's you're 100% spot on. That's why it is shameful that these things that are happening under Barrow is a disgrace, because we effected the change to have a new Gambia where the things we criticize Jammeh for will not be repeated. But if those things are repeated, that nullifies the purpose of the change. And this is why some of us are right now, one of the reasons why we are not pro-Barrow, even though they invited us to join him. I refuse to join Barrow because Barrow has departed from the very concept that the change was for. Barrow has now taken some of the route that APRC can, because when he brought the likes of Sidin Jai, the likes of Fabaka Tombonjata to his camp, obviously, he continued to carry on. But I want us to be very, very honest about this. We all support our people. But to be fair, I think it is really, really disingenuous to have a comparison between Jammeh's regime and when it comes to human rights. When it comes to administration, Yahya Jammeh's government was far better, far more efficient. That you cannot compare. Adama Barrow's government administratively is very incompetent, just like the man himself is. And I said it yesterday, Jammeh has learned on his job. Jammeh improved significantly. Academically, Jammeh improved. I have to give that to Jammeh. But this guy is there for 8 years and he's still Adama Barrow, who still pronounces human being as woman being. He cannot even make, and when you say that, they said, Angele Dusunyu Laka. I don't buy into that. Gambians are spending thousands of dollars to go to schools to learn English. We don't spend thousands of dollars to take our children to go and learn Mandinka or Jola or Sarhule. But there, how many people are in Europe here? They pay private schools to pay and learn Western education. So you cannot come out and say, oh, Lola Amut importance. And English is our official language. Because if somebody cannot even pronounce words and be able to read papers, how can that person understand cabinet papers? So this is why I'm saying, for me, this is my contribution on this. And you cannot compare the dictatorship under Jammeh and now. Let's be honest here. It was far greater under Jammeh. You cannot compare it by miles. Jammeh was like, we were on exile. How many of us couldn't go to Gambia when Jammeh was there? But now we can. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Seo Sedili. I agree with the fact that I don't know what the full circumstances were. No matter how much you dislike somebody, the minute they've been pronounced dead, or their relative has been pronounced dead, the acrimony should end. So if somebody died, whether they were evil to you or not, their mother or their father, or even the person themselves, if they passed away, allow them a respectful burial. I agree with that. I don't know what the full circumstances were, because most of the stories that were told by Jammeh haters. So, but if it's true that that was the only reason why he refused the burial to take place in the Gambia, I think that was a mistake. I don't know whether Jammeh himself told them not to do so or some other people did. But if that was the case, that was a mistake, shouldn't have happened. If somebody passes away, whatever enmity existed between you and that person, you should lay that guard. I agree. When we come to human rights, when people talk about Jammeh's human rights record, I always say to people, you never put other things into context. To start with Sehu Sedele's speech, I agree. He has no moral right to question Jammeh's leadership of APRC because he's not an APRC member. And number two, UDP itself that Sehu Sedele supports, Ousainou Darboe has been the one and only party leader since inception in 1996. So they both started leadership of their parties together, Ousainou Darboe and Yahya Jammeh. So no UDP member should really sit or stand on any platform and say President Jammeh has been in power for 22 years. President Jammeh has been a leader of APRC for its existence, but he has done that successfully. Ousainou Darboe has been a leader of UDP throughout its existence, and he has been unsuccessful. In my view, if you contest 2 presidential elections and you didn't succeed, you should step down and allow somebody to come from your party to lead the party. We're asking for term limits for the nation. We should have term limits in our political parties themselves. Charity begins at home. So I agree with that 100%. Human rights, again, you look at it from different angles. If Jammeh was attacked 77 times, as the NIA said, 17 of those violent, and one of UDP chairpersons of an administrative region came out and confessed that he was actually one of the planners of the attack that took place against President Jammeh. So therefore, if President Jammeh suffered 17 violent attacks on his government, his human rights record is bound to be worse than Adama Barrow's, okay? Because he had to repel those attacks. Adama Barrow hasn't had even a single violent attack on his administration yet. Adama Barrow had 3 peaceful demonstrations against him, and he brutally killed people in those 3 demonstrations. One in Kanilai, one in Faraba, one 3 years Jotna. All right? So just 3 of them, and he's done that. Imagine if he had 17 violent ones, including guns. None of the protests or attacks on Adama Barrow's government had any gun involvement, no violent involvement, and that many people died. President Jammeh's one, a lot of violence was involved. Guns were involved, shootings were involved, 17 of them. The other 60 were foiled before it got to stage. So we need to put context into matters so that people can know how things happened, why things happened. Still, what I said before, involving the civilians, sometimes it's intelligence errors, but again, it's up to President Jammeh to say, okay, look, this thing has happened. It's unfortunate. It wasn't pre-planned, or it was planned because of X, Y, Z. He needs to come out and say to government,
can I just push back on...
I recognize things have happened.
Can I push back on this? Because I'm still on
Let me finish in a few seconds.
Yeah, technically,
I
I'm still
recognize
on the
things have
floor.
happened under me. I apologize for these things that happened.
Yeah.
I was aware of X, Y, Z. I wasn't aware of X, Y, Z. But regardless, they happened under my tenure, and I sincerely apologize to government citizens for it. Every other person should do the same. If you're a party leader, things have happened that shouldn't have happened, but we need to put things into context here, all right? And that's why I always say to people, let's put things into context. Charity begins at home. Let's start it at home, and then we'll go out and give out to other people. Thank you.
Okay, just quickly, Papulo, I will just push back a little bit on 2 points, and then I will let other people come in. Yes, you mentioned, let me start from UDP, this idea of charity begins at home. This always people talk about this, that UDP leadership, like Ousainou Darboe has been there, if we call for term limits, but this is not peculiar to Gambia. I mean, in West Africa, we have seen opposition leaders who contest 5 or 6 times. They never gave up until they eventually won the leadership. Even happened in Senegal. Okay, it's happening. The opposition, the term limits normally in Africa, this is only in West that I can see. Yes, you're right, in the West, when people contest elections, in fact, normally they don't wait for 2 times. When they lose elections, they just resign straight away. This is happening in the Western Hemisphere. But our democracy hasn't gone to that level yet. In Africa, most of the leaders, you see, particularly in the opposition ranks, they keep contesting until they win. So, but what I'm saying is, probably one day our democracy will evolve to that level where they still also migrate into the opposition ranks. Just slowly now, Africa, a few years ago, we don't call for term limits even in our presidency. It's just a new concept in Africa now, to the extent that ECOWAS has to bring this concept of good governance and term limit. But when Sadauda Jawara was there, ECOWAS never talked about term limits. That's why Jawara stayed on for 30 years. So Africa is also evolving because this concept started from the West, and now we're also learning that we need to inculcate term limits. So gradually, maybe it will shift to the opposition ranks. Maybe 10 years down the line, our children also will come and say, if you're an opposition leader, you contest an election once or twice, you resign, just like what is happening in the West. Right? But now, right, it's a new thing in Africa. So we haven't reached there yet. What I want to push back on this again, compare the comparison between Barrow and Jammeh. Let's do like for like comparison. Jammeh came to power on the 22nd of July, 1994. And 6 years in April 2000, that's just 6 years, okay? Students were callously murdered, okay? And like Caesar said, I agree with Caesar. Aisotonjai said he confessed that he got instruction from Jammeh. This was the words of Jammeh's own VP. 6 years, 11 people were murdered, and those people had no guns. Those people, you cannot tell me they had plans to remove Jammeh's government. There wasn't a coup. There was a protest by students, which happens everywhere. Okay, and Jammeh murdered those people. Okay, you cannot say, well, Jammeh was confronted with 17 attacks. Yes, I know Jammeh had faced a lot of alleged military coups. Like it started in November 11th. Jammeh came in July, August, September 11th. 3 months down the line, the November 11th, Gambians woke up to sounds of gunfire at Fajara barracks. Soldiers were murdered, extrajudicial killing. The people that were taken from Mile 2, I think one Tamara Samba was there, one Senegalese guy, and people were murdered. When Jammeh said, if I don't kill these people, let me drink pork alcohol. He started State House and said that those people were extrajudicially murdered. You are a lawyer. You know what that means, okay? That was bad.
Which case was that? Which case was that?
The people that were taken from Mile 2 when he killed them.
The nine ones that were executed or what?
Yes, the ones that were executed, yeah. So that was he
I thought that went to court. I thought that's the one that went to court and they were sentenced to death.
Okay, he said he was going to kill these people and he killed them. Okay,
but did he go to court? Did the court sentence them to death?
I don't know whether they were. I cannot remember whether
the court did. The court did, and they appealed, and the appeals court, I think, upheld the death sentence.
Okay, fine. But okay.
Seiko, can I chip in there for a second? So, they were sentenced to death. What was the sentence, and was it actually what happened? So, it was by firing squad. Did they actually fire them to death?
I don't know how they killed them, but there was 9 of them who were sentenced to death by the High Court, and then they appealed. I think their families appealed, then they went to appeals court, and the death sentence was upheld, and then they were executed. But I don't know how they were executed.
No, they were executed. I think they were executed by firing squad. Some of them. Okay,
yeah, so, probably. I'm not sure. But then they were executed. That's true. But then they exhausted all their legal routes. Still, the president can still pardon them at that stage, but if he doesn't, unfortunately, if the courts uphold it, then it's up to the state to decide whether to go ahead with the execution or not. Continue.
Okay. Firing squad.
Yeah.
No, Beppe, there's people writing, how much striker? I don't know. I'm got a minute to clarify because one time I've had that. The sent come so the murder or killing whatever was unlawful. So
maybe I'm not sure, maybe, but what I know for a fact is they went through the judicial process. So maybe the manner in which they executed them is wrong. I don't know that level, but I know for a fact they've been sentenced to death, and then they appealed, and the appeal was dismissed. So how they killed them, whether it's via knife or suffocation or hanging or firing squad, I don't know that, to be honest with you.
But is that okay? Just because you were the president at that time, you can decide to kill somebody however you wishes, different from what the court said?
No, if Gambia set a death penalty, in that death penalty, they will describe how to kill somebody. All right?
Exactly.
So they should describe how to kill somebody. So I don't know what that is because I never actually looked into the death penalty. But the death penalty will say in Gambia, there are only these lawful ways of terminating somebody's life.
Okay,
I don't know what that
can
is.
I
Maybe
just add something on this?
something we need to investigate. We need to get from our law courts. Thank you.
You're probably right that probably these people were sentenced to death, and I will take that back. But there is one aspect of it that Gambia was widely condemned for, and you must have heard this. Even in Islam, we know we are Gambians. When you kill somebody, you have to give the body to the family for them to pay respect. Yeah, that never happened. Some of the family members say they never saw those bodies.
That's wrong again. That's wrong.
This is what happened on the Jammehs. Okay,
yeah. But
and
again,
imams and others when they say that this is grossly wrong. And you see, when I hear people trying to sanitize Jammeh to the extent to say that who has seen Jammeh kill somebody, you kill somebody, you have to give the body to the family to bury them and give them fitting burial. This never happened. These 9 bodies.
All right, it's something that we need to look into because I'm not sure what happened after the court process. I'm not sure.
Yes, it never happened. So you see, I'm a very big critic of Adam Barrow, and within 8 years, I bet if the people came out in Faraba, there was no killing of that magnitude like we saw on the April 10th and 11th, 20,000. When Yahya Jammeh, within 6 years of coming to power, he murdered 11, including journalist Basiru Barrow, Barrow. I think I forgot the first name. So this is why I cannot agree with any APRC member trying to say that Jammeh gross human rights violations did not come. And it's not all about people wanting to replace his government forcefully. He uses that as an excuse. They want to remove my government. But some of the civilians like Data Haidara did not plan any coup. Koro Sise did not plan any coup. These are civilians. Data Haidara was a journalist. All he was doing was, good morning, Mr. President, writing articles. And one day, he was shot in broad daylight. And there's no investigation, Lamin Tamba.
Yes.
Listen, let me finish. You have said here, Jammeh has taken action against people that he thinks, he accused them of economic crimes. And that is true. Jammeh used to take action on people who he saw them as embezzling state funds. But how come a state minister that you appointed as finance minister died under your watch?
Yeah.
Up to today, up to the time Jammeh left Gambia, there is no probing. But Jammeh established Al-Ghali Commission against the PPP, but there was not. And even the students, but there was a corona. You know Usman Jammeh, at the Attorney General, he was a corona for the student investigation. He produced his report. We all know what was in that report. People were indicted. Some top military officials were indicted in that. And Jammeh never took action against those people, Lamin Tamba.
Yeah.
You know that.
Can you share that report with me at some point?
Okay, I will talk to Usman Jammeh. Usman is now in Tunisia. Usman is now in Tunisia. I will speak to him. If he still have got a report with him, I'll ask him to share with me. But the report was widely circulated during the struggle. We saw it, and we know some people, top rank of government of the APRC government, were implicated in that corona request, and Jammeh just put that thing under the dustbin. Nothing happened since then.
Okay, and I also of interest, if anybody has got any details about the death penalty in the Gambia and its execution, if you can ask Usman if he knows anybody who can supply the information as well.
Well, what I gathered from the comment section is they were sent by I think firing squad. But what happened? Somebody explained at the TRRC. Apparently, they were suffocated to death. So,
Okay, man, I don't think Barrow, as I criticize Barrow, digger. When it comes to brutality, I cannot equate him to Jammeh. I cannot equate him to Jammeh.
Okay, no problem.
I don't have a, Barrow is not my cup of tea, but when it comes to brutality, Jammeh was at another level. Thank you.
Okay, so anyway, again,
Charles wala bint.
One question. Okay, because somebody in the comments said, Seiko, can you hear me? Okay, because somebody in the comment section said that Ousainou Darboe was sent to jail because he was accused of eliminating somebody. How true is that?
Sorry, Umi.
Yes.
Ousainou Darboe, we all know he was sentenced because he was accused of violating the Public Order Act and the court sentenced him to death. So if somebody comes here and said that he was accused of killing somebody, let the person say who the person he allegedly murdered and killed. Bring it out. Some people, there are certain people, I don't even want to respond to them because that is a lie. It's a blatant lie. The person is not true. And I challenge this person, tell us who Ousseynou Dabo was accused of killing. Bring it out in the public discourse. Thank you.
Jërëjëf suma sister yéen ñëpp maa ngi leen a nuyu seen tur ak seen sant yi jërëjëf waaye man nag programme bi follow up ma si too much what I mean because maa ngi xawoon a busy somehow what I mean waaye
just may ma 1 second ma answer se Ousseynou mun nga ma may 1 second
no problem
Bajan Ousseynou Dabo sending ko jail for killing somebody. Dafa dem jail for protesting without a permit.
Why? I just read a comment that somebody wrote, and I wanted to clarify.
No, he wasn't sent to jail or sentenced. Then ko charge on for killing Aliou Njie in Basse End. UDP, ñoom ñoo reyoon Aliou Njie in Basse End during their tour or campaign, and Jarga Keita nearly got killed by the same UDP.
Law means to kill. Can you
Then correct. Then Tion Aliou Njie, ñu ne Aliou Njie moo leen ambush moo Jarga Keita moo ambush UDP according to UDP. So then charge on UDP executive for the killing and dismembering of Aliou Njie's body. Yeah. You charge
and what happened after they were charged?
Yeah, they charged them and then the case eventually failed in court.
Exactly.
Why? UDP confirmed that they were ambushed and they killed them.
No, Lamin, listen. That was a skirmish. That was a skirmish between UDP and.
That's what you guys say. That's what you guys are saying.
Yeah, but that was a skirmish. Yeah. That's a fact. There was a skirmish. That was a problem. That was a fight between UDP and APRC. You know that. And
so the same fight.
Let me explain. In the process, the late Aliou Njie sadly passed away. May his soul continue to rest in peace. We don't want loss of lives in our country, whether we are part of this. But in a country of law,
so say why did they cut his body into
Jammeh was in power. Listen, Jammeh was in power, and the matter was taken to UDP. The matter did not proceed. Why? Probably they don't have evidence.
Okay, but
so let's forget about that. When you cannot prove something, you cannot validate something in the courts of law. And why you keep talking about Jammeh is not convicted in court of law. You keep talking about that. When people say Jammeh is accused, you say Jammeh is innocent. So UDP is innocent on that thing.
Yeah, okay, exactly. But that's what I said.
So why bring it up?
No, because somebody asked.
No, so but you want to piggyback on that. You want to piggyback on that. You want to piggyback on that. So we can also say that Jammeh is accused of all these crimes too.
Okay, Bajan Ome.
Thank you.
At the beginning, UDP was accused. They were charged for a case bit of a fail. So at the end of the day, Aliou Njie dañ ko reyoon ba pare dog yaramam bi dogati ko, okay?
Let me say that was not the reason Ousseynou Dabo went to jail, right?
No, the reason he went to jail was protesting without a permit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And secondly, Lamin Tamba, you know Jammeh was in power. Jammeh had control over the country. UDP were opposition. I believe if Jammeh had an iota of evidence that UDP murdered Aliou Njie, somebody would have paid price for that in the jail. Just like they sentenced our people who violated the Public Order Act.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Aliou Njie dafa attack UDP ñu rey ko. Yeah?
No, there was a fight between
UDP and APRC. Okay, Aliou Njie had a fight with UDP and they killed him.
No, APRC members
UDP no ray Aliou Njie dagatay ko comme ni Alhaji Kane def
let's admit one thing. There was a fight between UDP and Aliou. According to UDP, Aliou Njie died in their house.
Process, he died, yes.
He died, okay. Yes. So now you're saying people who picked up guns to go and fight with Jammeh, their deaths are brutal. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you reconcile that, brother?
Can you repeat that? People who what? Sorry?
People who picked up guns to go and kill Jammeh or overthrow his government, when they died in the process or died in the hands of security services, that's brutal to you. Aliou Njie dying in the hands of UDP is not brutal.
No, but when did I say that? Where did I say that and when?
No, I'm just asking. You said Jammeh.
No, I never said that. I said the student demonstration 2000.
Yeah.
I said that one, these are innocent students protesting and they were killed, and Ousseynou Njie confirmed.
No, the killing was wrong, but the demonstration was not innocent. They were born in police stations and government buildings. It wasn't. It wasn't a peaceful. It wasn't a peaceful protest because I was there.
You're right.
I was there.
I will take that back. You're right.
Yeah.
It turned into riots. Yeah.
Okay.
So
thank you. We agree.
But that doesn't justify them using guns against them.
No. Guns. I agree with that. The gun.
Because in the UK here, you know, we had riots here, which was people. They are, you know, what the riots here, but they didn't use live ammunition or anything.
Yeah, I agree. But Jammeh government learned from that. They made that mistake once. They never repeated it. However, Barrow's done it in Kanilai, done it in Faraba, done it again in Busumbala, and recently the police shot people near Bond Road. So Barrow done it 3 times. He never learned from it. Jammeh did it once, he learned from it. Barrow did it 3 times. So when we say brutal, it depends on what lens you're looking at.
You guys are talking about the first incident. What about the Denton Bridge? When our people were beaten mercilessly at Denton Bridge.
Look,
no one died there. But our supporters were mercilessly beaten, and Yankuba Toure was there on the ground giving instructions for them to beat them. So you, the APRC, don't bring that on about brutality.
Yeah. I agree. Heavy-handedness. Look, I agree with heavy-handedness everywhere.
Don't worry.
All right.
Can I say something? Lamin and Sekou. For now, I think I welcome this kind of conversation, and I think at some point in our programs, we need to have the honest and difficult conversation. And I can see there is an agreement somewhere, and that this agreement somewhere, and misinformation, and we are coming to a conclusion. Yes, I agree, and I take that back.
Yeah.
I apologize.
But Lamin and I, we always agree. Exactly. This is why I respect Lamin Tamba. Yeah.
And people who don't know and know you guys may think that you get fight. Why? These are very, very difficult conversations that had to happen. The accused, defend, the fabricate. They don't know. And man protect land from Lamin and Sekou.
Yeah, let me say something. Lamin Tamba is one guy I have great respect for in APRC. Because Lamin, however difficult, he will be honest to say, yes, maybe this should not have happened. He is not like the others who will just say defend. But and I'm also like that in UDP. When
you're right. Shehu Sedil is very accommodating, even though that's my block on Facebook. He's accommodating.
We all block each other at some point.
Yeah, that's my block on, but he's very accommodating. I have to admit that.
Let me see. I couldn't block some of them. It happened on Facebook. Then it was very brutal and it was aggressive. Why hang on you Sekou? Hamu fake you fake man bole fake.
Yeah.
So and listen, they go put the good right now. I think it's very educative and it's very interesting to know what happened and what went wrong.
Roy Jammeh said I should.
Boy, Lamin Tamba, Lamin Tamba, Lamin Tamba, fen, do lower have to domi robe, fen. Wow, drop
line. Thank you.
Do you repeat? Come on, the guinea chinini, motor, do len mana. Drop
the guys, nine the fatal. Name the fatal. Go see.
Moderators, they deserve an hour.
No.
Why do you get live?
No, but for a mom, someone the moko just the chance because man ko biso mga saga nekati mo dafa ñew pour yoko saga.
Block.
Charles Mendy moy next person on the line. Charles la dogon bala mang don wa.
Yeah, ak tamit Charles mo please. Then you might do mi rew mi taw mi mu fi. Please.
Not nice why not nice li ñu ko janga not nice
exactly you nekk ci suuf tamit man mo ku fi comment dama xala busy sa de mota why moderators please li ngeen di def I approve wala walu ni rek block len ko ngeen wacce bu dem ci mama monkey dance fofu non
because any platform bo am Sekou at Lamin Tamba is very resourceful ku fa jangu nak mom li fa jëlé so ba janga moy mer te so meré da nga gawa dé so gaawé dé nak mom so amé jabat na ko dono su nice okay
Tell Joel. Tablet guys, please again share it to your friends, guys. Do share on Facebook as well.
Jërëjëf.
Charles Bala ma def tuuti advertisement guys yéen mi seetaan fii ñi nga xam ne duñ dee ñëw fii regular wala ñoo xam ne most of us nag ñoo fi dee nekk at all these places waaye Monday ñu ngi am programme on Smile Back AIP All Inclusive Party mu ngi ñëw am interview foofu noonu is it 6 or 7 Monday time
It's 7 but I have to rectify it's not a one-on-one that they are coming in the group
it's not one-on-one why
on in US time
no Gambian time
6 p.m. Gambian time
waaw ba pare on dit ñu am PPP.
Yeah, legi Saturday ñu ngi am AIP on chamber. So they learn follow Sumal Bag chamber. These are platforms yoo xam ne we do have ay justice. Nga man suma bi moom informal la. Dañ dee ñëw fi roube wax boppay tànga ku nekk dem yoonam. But thank you so much guys. Képp koo xam ne you don't follow
waa doy ak PDOIS ñu ngi leen a laajte